Okay, it says it's going live.
Yeah, live now, right there. So you just go to Elven Scholar.
Yep, there it is. Okay, go tell them to go back to the live video. That's it.
Then I will, babe. I'm trying to get to it. It'll be loaded.
Okay, so I'm live and I'm chatting,
Yes, you.
but I'm all alone. Just click in there. Oh, right, Facebook. YouTube, type YouTube.
One word.
One word, yeah. And then tell them to go over to the live. Yeah. Everybody go live. We had to go to a different live thing, but just go back to Elven Scholar and look for the live. Crikey. Mae'Govannen to you too. Sorry for the delay. Are you guys able to hear me okay? We've been having some technical problems. Are you able to? Oh, you're not on it. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, we'll just give it a couple minutes for everybody else to get here. Thanks for your help. Yeah, we had some technical problems with YouTube that we didn't have yesterday, but looks like this will work. So we'll get started here in just a minute. You doing good today? You letting everybody know? Thanks. Okay, start. Come on. That would be great if you would. Thank you. Hmm? Mae'Govannen, Samantha. We're just giving a couple more minutes for others to get in. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we had some problems with YouTube's encoder. It was working great yesterday, and for some reason it didn't work well today for a scheduled event, but it's working great for just plain old live, so we were able to switch over. So we'll give everybody just a couple more minutes, and then we'll be ready. And you've let everybody know, right?
I have.
Okay, great, thanks. And Samantha, you're able to hear me okay? Yeah, Mae'Govannen to you too, Tarja. And Wind. Everybody, can you hear me okay? We just want to make sure the stream's working. Oh, great. Thanks, Samantha. Hey, Sean, Mae'Govannen too. Okay, so I think we've got just about everybody on. Again, sorry for the little bit of a delay. We are having problems with YouTube and their encoders. It was working great yesterday, and for some reason on a scheduled event, they didn't work well, so we just went to a live. Okay. Okay, so I think that's about it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thanks for all your patience with this. All right, so this is our first live workshop with the school at Elven Doctor, the Elven School Lore Masters. This is a free one for everyone, and we're going to try to do more in the future. Most of the workshops are for only active students, but we really wanted to do this free for everyone. And we'll try to do more in the future. This one is on how to make your own natural medicines. I think everybody, if you're not familiar with me, I am Elven scholar, yes, but locally they know me as Dr. Arundel Spindleilis. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and we run California's largest naturopathic medical center. We pretty much treat everything from boo-boo toes to cancer. We've been very blessed because we use natural protocols. We have a 100% success rate on cancer and Lyme and other chronic conditions as long as the patient follows the program. That's often the problem, is getting people to follow the program, because most people don't want to change their diets, and it's funny, they'll go take chemotherapy, but if you recommend lavender oil, they go and look it up on the web and see what the side effects are. And that's something that we experience quite a bit. So one of the most important things we've learned after 20 years of medical practice is treating the patient as hands-on is very important. But even more important than that is education, teaching the patients how to take care of themselves. And we actually do teach patients. I mean, it's fine. We have a great dispensary. It's probably the largest naturopathic dispensary also in California. It has hundreds of holistic medications in it. But we also try to teach patients how to make their own medicines. All right, it's very, very important that you become independent and learn how to make your own. I've got a variety of books out. Some of you are aware of those books about how to take care of yourself for different conditions and things. And in the school, Elven Doctor, we also have courses on first aid and things of that nature. So some of you will already know how to do this, but you've probably never seen the hands-on. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. So today we're going to learn how to make tinctures and how to make capsules, both incredibly important. Why is it important to learn to do that? Okay, first of all, let's define what a tincture is. A tincture is an alcohol-based medicine. It's very important. We love making those. They're the ones that you get usually in little bottles. Now, sometimes when you get them at the health food store, they can be alcohol, and sometimes they're going to be glycerin. Glycerin, as long as it's vegetable-based, it's kind of sweet. It's really good to make your your liquid medicines, when you make them, to make them out of glycerin, if they're especially for children because they don't like the taste of alcohol. You're not trying to booze your kids up either, which we deal with a lot with our patients because we do a lot of pediatrics as well. So tinctures are alcohol-based. We love alcohol-based because in essence, it lasts forever. Once you make it, it lasts forever. There's someone that I know of, he collects medieval tinctures. In other words, tinctures that were laid down, that were created back in the 13 and 1400s. All right. So you're looking at tinctures that are 600-700 years old. All right. Today they say that tinctures, officially they say tinctures can last 15 years. Okay. But to be honest, if you keep them in dark bottles and you keep them in a cool, dark place, like in a medicine cabinet or somewhere, you know, shaded in your house, we've seen them last as his does. His are actually still as potent. They tested them as potent as when they were laid down 1400 AD. All right, so you make it into a tincture, it will last forever. So we're going to talk about how to make tinctures right now, and then we'll go to capsules. In the future, I would like to do more of these if you guys express interest. If this is something you'd like to do, I'd love to take the time to do. Because again, one of the most important things we can do in life is to teach. And the word doctor doesn't mean healer. The word doctor comes from Latin and ancient Greek, and it meant teacher, all right? A mentor. It's our job to teach our patients how to take care of themselves. So today's going to be on tinctures and capsules. And if you like this, we'll do another one, and then we'll go to something, for me, even more exciting, and that is salves and other things like that. Salves, you know, like you would make a cream with something you put on you. Those are incredibly powerful. And if you learn how to make your own salves, you can literally save, in the long run, we've seen patients save hundreds to thousands of dollars. So that's one of the biggest things to making your own medicines is the amount of money you save. What's going to... Okay, what's the question?
Blue bottles, okay.
Blue bottles are great. Great question. Great question. The only bottles we really don't like are clear, obviously. And we want it glass. We don't want plastic. Plastic, depending on the type of plastic, can release estrogen analogs. Okay, and that really messes up your system. Plus, plastic degrades with different chemicals like alcohol, and it gets into your system. Great question. Blue is a great bottle. I love it. Very antique-y, and it's still very popular today. So, good question. Great. My wife's in the background. You can see her back there. She'll let you know when somebody asks a question. Let me know when somebody asks a question. I'll do my best to answer them. So we're going to do this for a little bit, and then towards the end, we're going to do a question and answer so that you can go ahead and ask me some questions. In the future, if you think it would be more valuable, we can consider doing something like Zoom, to where we're all actually vocal and able to talk. I'm really open on how we want to do these workshops in the future. And also, please remember this. I plan on doing quite a lot of these workshops. Give me ideas on what you'd like to do. I have a lot of workshops I'd like to do, but sometimes you know more about what you like than I do. So let me know what kind of workshops you'd like to do. Okay, so let's get started on tinctures. Again, why tinctures? Because in essence, if they're taken care of, they last forever. All right, they're also much more powerful. The potency of a tincture is more powerful than that of a capsule or syrups or other things, because it's a very concentrated form of the medicine, because it basically pulls all the medical constituents out of the herbs and such. So it's much more powerful. It's also it's faster reacting. Okay, there's good and bad behind this. So that's why one of the reasons why we're doing tinctures versus capsules. Tinctures are very fast acting. It's kind of like taking an aspirin versus like an ibuprofen. They both, aspirin's faster, ibuprofen is not as fast, but not that I recommend ibuprofen, but the ibuprofen will last longer. So this will get in your system faster, but a capsule is a longer, deeper healing because it gets further down into the digestive tract. Okay, how to make a tincture. All right, so let's do that first. What we're going to do today is we're going to make cayenne. Okay, a cayenne tincture today. Cayenne is one of the most powerful medicines there is. You think, oh, it's just a hot pepper. Okay, unfortunately, so many people have forgotten what cayenne is capable of doing. For us, we get in these little bags here. One of the questions you guys may ask towards the end of this is, okay, this is all great, but where do I get my supplies? All right, I'm going to say something that sounds like a sales pitch. It's up to you where you go. We're just giving you easy access, and there's lots of other places you can go. Mae'Govannen is the school, the Elven school, okay? And Tree of Life Holistic Wellness Center is the medical center that we run. All right, so the Tree of Life Holistic Wellness Center, and I'll put a link in the description should you decide you want to go to it. It has its own online store, and we sell to patients and non-patients alike, actually around the world. They come to it. All these things that we're going to talk about today, you can get there if you want to, or you can go somewhere else. It's totally up to you. Okay, so we're going to do cayenne today. Super, super easy one of the best ones to get started on if you've never done before. Okay, why cayenne? The medical term for cayenne is a rubefacient. Rubefacient medically means wherever it touches, it brings blood to that region, whether it be on the surface of the skin or in your mouth, wherever in your body, wherever it touches, it brings blood to that region. Why is that important? Because bringing blood to the region means it brings nutrients, because that's what's in the blood, and it brings oxygen. Both of these things cause you to heal faster. All right. I know some of you are familiar with the stories of my wife. I'm going to talk about you, babe. Okay, real quickly. Cayenne can heal the vascular system, the heart system, because there are medical constituents inside of cayenne that actually heals the walls of the arteries and the muscles of the heart. We've seen patients make amazing recovery from congestive heart failure. Now, one of the most important things is Dr. Christopher, who I originally studied from. And for some of you who don't know him, he's probably the world's most famous naturopathic doctor and master herbalist in modern times. And you can go to our school and learn more about it, or go online and look under Dr. Christopher. Okay. He, in his 30-odd years of practice, he never lost a patient, never lost a patient to heart attack or stroke. And I can say very comfortably, in my 20-odd years of practice, I have never lost a patient to heart attack or stroke. You hear the common thing of the 4 golden minutes. When somebody has a heart attack, you got 4 golden minutes to help save their lives. You know, whether you've got to do CPR, get hold of, 911, whatever is the case. Cayenne tincture will give you 20, 30 often golden minutes if you even need assistance after that at all. I mean, it's up to you. Okay, how does that work? Wherever, again, remember cayenne, whether it touches the skin or internally, wherever it touches, it brings blood to that region. What it does is, and you can actually tell it if you're having an issue. You put that cayenne tincture on your tongue, and yeah, mucho caliente, it's very hot, but you put that on your tongue. If you're having a high blood pressure issue or a heart attack or a stroke, you can literally, in that moment of putting it in your mouth, you feel this whoosh. Because what it does is, if there's a heart attack, it pulls the blood off the heart. If there's a stroke, it pulls the blood off the brain. And so it equalizes the blood pressure. We've had patients who are literally having, almost stroking out because their blood pressure had spiked so high. And we took this and squirted in their mouth, and within seconds, their blood pressure dropped back down again. So this saves lives. So here was a gentleman that came into the clinic many years ago, very obese, alcoholic. He never did well on the program because he just wouldn't change his life. But he did use the cayenne. He came into the clinic on his first appointment. And normally I don't dispense any medications on the first one because it's a discovery period. We'd like to look into their labs and figure out what's going on. Because it's the job of a naturopathic doctor to get to the root cause, not treat you symptomatically. So he came in and we took his vitals, and his blood pressure was like 290 over 180. It was insane. He was a tea kettle getting ready to pop. I became very concerned, and we talked about this. So I said, and I actually gave him a bottle of cayenne tincture for free, and I said, take this home. Because what was happening with him is he was having a heart attack every single month. Once a month, he was having a heart attack. And so once a month, he was in the hospital for about a week. His other doctor had given him 4 other medications when he could feel it coming on. This and this and this, and then finally nitroglycerin. And he would go through all 4, and if it still wasn't working, he'd have to get 911 and go to the hospital. I said, take this and try it. Well, again, his alcoholism and his bad choices, he didn't come back into the clinic for months. But one day he walked into the clinic and he came in carrying his bottle of Cayenne tincture with a big old smile on his face. He said, "Doc, this stuff works." He said, about a month or so ago, sure enough, here came this next heart attack. He went through all of his other doctor's meds and none of them was working. He was beginning to seize up and all. And he went, "Oh, wait a minute, there's that hippie doctor who told me about Cayenne tincture. I've got it." So he took it. Remember, this stuff is very, very hot. But one of the beauties of Cayenne is it causes zero tissue damage. No matter how hot you may be, or your stomach on fire, or your skin burning, it actually is causing no tissue damage whatsoever. I knew of a guy who actually threw Cayenne in his eyes to make the point, and all it did was clear his eyes up. It burned and he was crying like crazy, but it actually caused no damage. So this guy with the heart attack, he took it, instead of squirting a dropperful in his mouth, he squirted 2 full dropperfuls in his mouth. And he said within seconds, mucus started coming out of every hole he had. And it was just pouring out congestive heart failure. And he said within seconds, all the symptoms disappeared and the heart attack went away. Never had to go to the hospital. And he said that happened twice, over the next few months that we saw him. And like I said, he never did well in the program, but it saved his life. It does the same thing for a stroke. I'm not telling you not to call your local hospital. I'm not telling you to avoid conventional medicine. I'm saying this is another option for you to do. And when you or a family member or a friend is having an issue, it's something you can do safely. You can literally, when that heart attack or stroke is going on, you squirt that stuff in their mouth and they might start swearing at you or they might be mad, but you just very likely save their lives. So it's one of, oh, I love the cayenne pepper symbols. Okay, so let's learn how to make cayenne tincture. All right, all you need are just a few things. All right, and a big old bottle of vodka. All right, why do we use vodka? Oh, and it's funny, by the way, we buy, obviously because of the medical clinic, we buy a lot of vodka. And instead of getting it from a medical supplier, because we like the Smirnoff Blue Label, and I'll tell you one in a second, my wife has a special deal with a local grocery store where she gets bulk vodka in boxes, right, babe?
Yes.
Boxes of it. All right, and so she gets a very good discount, which then helps us make it cheaper for patients at the clinic and the dispensary. And she'll go up to the grocery counter and she has all this vodka. And people's looking at her and of course, what they're thinking. And so she has done the traditional thing before going, well, it's medicine. Right. But it is medicine. Okay. It doesn't have to be Smirnoff, but we do highly recommend vodka. Okay, why? Because vodka, okay, especially the blue label. So the blue label is 100 proof. There is a red label Smirnoff, which is 90 proof, which is okay. It's all right. But the blue label 100 proof Smirnoff is the best we've ever used. And why is that? Because 100 proof, when it comes to vodka, means it is 50% water, 50% alcohol. It's half and half. And why is that important? Because some herbs, the medical constituents within them, and this is very important for you to know, some herbs require water to leach the chemicals out. Some herbs require alcohol. Okay, so for example, cayenne is great with this. It works really well with both. Then you have something like milk thistle, which is an amazing herb for healing the liver. Okay, it basically requires Everclear. Is like 180 proof or more. You light it, you throw a match on it, boom, it's going to go up. So, but it requires that. So this will still work with it. So what happens is if you have something that's 50% water, 50% alcohol, that means you pretty much got all bases covered. So most herbs will work fine with this. Again, I prefer pure alcohol, grain alcohol with herbs like milk thistle, but on the whole, this works with most herbs because it has both sides. So that's why we use it. And again, remember, once this thing is made, you take care of it, it will last forever, absolutely forever. And we're going to do a single herb formula today, but this doesn't matter. I've had this question before. You can make formulas up, and we're using multiple combination of herbs in a single formula. this works just the same. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so this is about a 2-week process. To make it's only about 5 minutes, but then after that it's about 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. We have the cayenne powder, and I've got the right one. A jar.
Move your silver bag.
Okay, move it.
More.
Okay, out of the thing.
Yes, please.
Oh, was it shiny? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make this up. Okay, please make a note of this. The ratio I'm about to give you is an overall ratio that works for almost all herbs. There are some that will be a little more particular, but this ratio works for all herbs. So please remember this. Remember about the alcohol, how it works, okay, why it works, and this one. Whenever you mix the powders or the combo of the powders with the alcohol, it's always a 4-to-1 ratio, 4 to 1. And so what we do is we measure everything, and okay, it's called parts. Some herbalists and other doctors use parts wrong. They do it as a volume. Parts is not volume. Parts is weight. So if it's 4 to 1, and we want to go by weight, so we go by ounces. In this case, you make a whole lot. You make them in pounds or half pounds, but in this case, a part means 1 ounce. So if it's 4 to 1, that means 4 ounces of the liquid to 1 ounce of the powder. This also works for glycerin. So in case you want to make a glycerin one, the same technique here works with glycerin. Big difference. Okay, this lasts forever. Glycerin will only last about 6 months or so before the potency goes way down. So the glycerin's great, especially for children, but you're going to be making it more often. And for those that want to give tinctures to their children, okay, meaning alcohol, whereas glycerin base is usually called like an extract, okay, but this is a tincture. You can give it to children, and it's really easy. What you do is, if you don't want to booze your kids up, you go ahead and you get a little glass of water, just a little bit of water, take the dosage of the tincture you're going to give them, put it in there, shake it up, and let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. Most of the alcohol is going to evaporate right back out, and then the medicine is there without having to give the kids alcohol. Okay, so ratio 4 to 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to make a very small amount here, and then we're going to show you the final product. Okay, so here we are. So standard little glass you can use, especially if it has there's milliliters, and there's our ounces. Okay, so we want to go ahead and, okay, so I'm going to fill it up to the 4 ounce. Okay, because it's now 4 to 1. Remember, if I want to make twice this amount, 4 to 1, that would be, if we would, want to make twice the amount, that would be times 2. So 4 times 2 would be 8 ounces, and 1 times 2 is 2. So it'd be then, instead of 4 ounces and 1 ounce, it would be 8 ounces and 2 ounces ad nauseum. Okay, so take the alcohol in the glass. Okay. Okay, and we've got, okay, just about.
Samantha wants to know about if you leave it long, then will it make it stronger?
Yes, great question, Samantha. We're actually going to talk about the amount of time it takes to make the tincture, but what I'm going to tell you for how long to make it is just a guideline. All right, you do not have, you can go as long as you want. I believe, don't we, back in the room there, we have tinctures that are still with the herb in it. We've had, especially things like poke root and others, we laid them down in the 90s, in the 1990s, and it still has the herb in it, because we would just kind of take out what we want. So can't be, pretty much, I don't know how you could be too long. And yes, the longer you leave it, the more potent it gets. Now there comes a point, I mean, it's the 1990s, I'd say by 2001 or 2, it was probably as potent as it would ever get. But yes, you can. It's the wonderful thing about this is none of this is rocket science. Nature is very forgiving and very easy to work with. Okay, so 4 ounces of the vodka. Okay, and then what we like to do is we love these little tiny scales. You can get these at like what, Walmart's, Targets, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, we love these little tiny scales. Okay, and so, some people use them for pot. We use them for marijuana. Okay, so you get the little scale on there. Okay, and you zero it out. Then you go ahead and you get your herb, whatever that happens to be. Like I said, in this case, it's cayenne. Okay, And okay, I'm just gonna, okay, I can use this. Okay, and so if I did 4 ounces of alcohol, then I'm gonna do 1 ounce of this, of the herb itself, whether it be already compounded, made up from other herbs or not. Okay. And by the way, if I sneeze, it's because this stuff is wonderfully cleansing. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more. So don't mind the sniffles. It is not COVID, just cayenne. Okay. So there is 1 ounce. So 1 ounce to 4 ounces. We go ahead and add it in there. Okay, another interesting thing about cayenne. Okay. It comes in many heat units. Okay. This one is the standard cayenne. We have it in our clinic, but you can pretty much get this. This is the regular cayenne red powder that you get at the grocery store as well. Okay. And it's what's called 40,000 heat units. Okay, 40,000. That's pretty much average. It's what we use in the clinic. The next step it goes up to is around 90,000 heat units. Then you can get up to habaneros, which are 200,000 plus heat units. They're all cayenne. They all work. Just some are a whole lot hotter than others. And yes, the higher the heat unit, the more powerful it is, not just in burning, but the more powerful the medicine is. We don't ever recommend going above 90,000 because most people just simply wouldn't tolerate it. But there you go. So our standard is 40,000. What you get in the grocery store, you get from us. Okay. So we've mixed the cayenne with the alcohol. Okay. We're almost done. We're literally almost done. Shake it up really well. Okay. And you'll see that I've got it in a clear glass. This is only for the process. Make sure over the next period of time that it's in a shaded area. We love to put ours in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter, because, okay, so it's ready. You know what you do? Please remember to do this, because don't count on yourself to remember. You then want to go ahead and write on the top, on the jar, you want to write what it is. This is cayenne tincture and today's date, whatever date you started on. And because you're going to have to be aware of that. Take it, put it on the counter, and then just, the reason we like it in the kitchen is because we're in the kitchen a lot and we're going to see it often, usually my wife. And you're going to go by, so about every time, at least 2-3 times a day if you can, at least once, but a couple of times a day. When you walk by, just grab it and shake it. Just shake it. You're going to do that for a minimum of 2 weeks. All right, do it for 2 weeks. And so back to your question, yes, you can do it much longer if you want to, but 2 weeks makes a very good, very, very good and very powerful tincture. But yes, you can go longer if you want to, and it'll be even more powerful. But 2 weeks is the standard, and it will be great and it'll be powerful. Okay, at the end of 2 weeks, you then take that, and you can, what you do then is filter it, basically get a bowl. Our favorite for filter is old-fashioned cotton diapers. It can be any white cotton cloth or linen cloth, but it has to be.
You want one?
Huh? Yeah, can you get one? Can you get one real quick? Yeah, it needs to be white because it means it hasn't been dyed at all. All right, and we like the old-fashioned cotton diapers because, well, they're on babies' bottoms, which means they're pretty safe. Okay, so we take that, we put it over a bowl, and we pour this through it. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, this has actually been stained a little bit, shows. So obviously you have a big bowl, and you put this over it, and you put that, and then you basically pull it through and strain it. Okay, and when it's all strained, it comes out as this. So this is an example of cayenne tincture that is completely done. You see, it's a very deep, dark red color, and this stuff is powerful. And this one was a 2-week one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you did this for 2 weeks. As an example, okay, we make them in very large quantities because we have to make them for the clinic. This is a poke root that was laid down the 9th of June. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, this is before it's been shaken for the day. So you'll see the herb settle to the bottom, the alcohol at the top. You just shake it. And you have to shake sometimes, as you can see, you have to shake it really well to make sure that all the herb gets broken up, and distributed through it. Okay, so that one's ready. This is poke root. That'll be wonderful for cancer treatments, things of that nature. And on the night, so it'll be ready around the 23rd. That will be ready. Okay, all right, so that's it. That is how easy to make a tincture, and it can be made with any herb or a combination of herbs. Okay, one of the things I like to say about this is cayenne. Okay, it's only a couple of more herbs to make an absolutely fantastic anti-infective. Okay, like there's a formula that we use in the clinic. It's on our website and on our online store. We call it Herbidine because it's the herbal sister to betadine, to iodine. It does exactly what they do, but of course not chemical based. And all you do is you take the cayenne, which we did, okay, but before you make it into a tincture, you know how we were putting it in and measuring it and all? You first make it up, instead of just cayenne, it also has golden seal and myrrh, and that makes Herbidine. And you put that in there, and it is a wonderful, wonderful topical anti-infective. And, well, 20 odd years of practice, every patient that uses it never, ever, ever gets an infection on their wounds. Scratches, cuts, scrapes, things of that nature. Never gets an infection. So it's an amazing thing to use to treat. So cayenne, golden seal, and myrrh makes a wonderful anti-infective. Herbidine, like I said, is what we call it. Okay, so a couple more points I want to make as to why we like doing the tinctures this way. Again, because they're more powerful, they're concentrated, they're faster acting. So the cayenne can be used topically, it can be used orally. Oh, let me tell you a couple more things about cayenne, then we're going to move on to capsules. Don't think that cayenne is only good for emergencies, you know, such as heart attack or stroke. It is absolutely outstanding for bleeding issues, all right? And we have used it many, many times. Remember how I told you wherever it touches, it brings blood to that region? Okay. Dr. Christopher talked about it a lot, and, you know, this is when I was, just before I went to med school, I went to Dr. Christopher's school and got a basis as a master herbalist, then I went to med school. One of the things he talked about was how excuse me, like cayenne, how it will stop bleeding like that. And it does. So, babe, I'm going to talk about you. Okay.
And you have a question.
Okay, what's the question?
That if they use more than one herb, the measurements.
For what, the Herbidine?
It says if you're using more than one herb in the same tincture.
Okay, that totally depends on the formula. Totally depends. There's so many different formulas. I mean, you can go out and you can buy books on herbal formulas. You can go to Mae'Govannen and take the herbalist courses. There's so many different formulas. For example, like I said, the cayenne was a single one. If you make it into Herbidine, that would be cayenne, golden seal, and myrrh, and they're pretty much equal proportions. Okay, so if you make a big batch, then it'd be 1 ounce of cayenne, 1 ounce of golden seal, 1 ounce of myrrh. Mix it all together into a powder, and then make it into a tincture. So every formula is different. But just make sure before you start the tincture that they've already been mixed together and they're ready to go. And so it's just, herbal formulas are like recipes. You get used to, okay, this formula or this recipe uses this much of each of these. So it just depends on the formula. I hope that helps. Okay, so cayenne can stop bleeding like that. Peggy is kind of like my naturopathic poster child. She's been a wonderful example of what cayenne can do. A really good example here was one time Peggy was in the kitchen, and I'm a raw vegan, so Peggy makes a lot of raw things for me, foods. And one time she was doing, was it the zucchini? When did the zucchini bang?
Yes.
Yeah, and she was getting impatient, so she was using a mandolin, took the guard off, and sliced a chunk of her thumb off. Okay, well, it was just spurting blood. Blood was just, I wasn't home, I was at the clinic, but she knew what to do because she's a family herbalist. She took the course, and blood's just spurting out heartbeat. So she knew, okay, she did maybe more than I would have done, but she did it wonderfully. She knew to grab the cayenne tincture, and she poured it on the counter and put her thumb in it. And of course, now she's running through the house because of the burning from that. And of course, she took a dose of it orally. The cliche is with it, count to 60 and you'll see the bleeding has stopped. That's what she did. She counted to 60 after she'd done that. And you actually don't have to rub the wound in it, but it did help. Really, all you have to do is just put it in your mouth and it will pull the blood off of that area so that it doesn't pump out so fast. And it literally, as she was counting, it was splurting. It just slowed down until by the time you hit 60, right, it was just an ooze.
It was.
It had just gone down to an ooze. Okay, so then a week later, unfortunately, something else happened. We do not have a dishwasher. My wife prefers to wash the dishes by hand, and the dishes were all sitting on the counter, and right next under there is the drawer for the silverware. All the silverware was dried, and she grabbed a handful of it, turned around to open the drawer. Unbeknownst to her, there was a knife right in the middle pointing down, and as she did this, she loosened her grip, and the knife went straight down, and just like a cartoon, stuck in her foot, straight up, right?
Yeah.
Well, golly gee whiz. Again, I wasn't here. She knew what to do. She grabbed the Cayenne tincture. My wife's from Alabama. She's a strong girl. She reached down and pulled that knife out, and out comes the blood. This time she didn't put it on her foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just took it orally. And again, count to 60, and the bleeding completely stopped. And we have seen this happen many times. So that little bottle of Cayenne tincture can save lives, whether it be a heart attack, a stroke, and that's both internal and external bleeding we've seen it work on. So if they're bleeding internally, you can still do that and stop the bleeding internally or massively slow it down. That's why we wanted to do this one today. We have given so much of this particular tincture away for free to patients, especially those with congestive heart failure and other forms of heart disease or high blood pressure. We give that to them, and it has saved lives over and over again. Okay, so I think that was it for the cayenne for making a tincture. Again, we'll have a question and answer here in just a little bit, but if you have something, please feel free to ask. Okay, next thing we're going to do is capsules. Okay, capsules. We love this little capsulator. This is a little manual one. You can get it online from our store. You can get it from other places. I think it's on Amazon as well. But we have it on the store at discounts for those. This is literally called the capsule machine. Capsulating. A lot of people go, gosh, that's such a pain in the behind to do. It takes a little bit to get used to, but this is extremely easy. We're going to show you how to use it. It's extremely valuable to learn to make your own capsules. Here are multiple reasons. One
quick thing.
Yeah.
Show them that what we use to take the tincture out of the bottle to put into the
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
so
great.
They'll know
Okay, that's
Target.
yeah. Okay, so yes, you can get that at Target. Okay, your little turkey baster. So, for example, we have this bottle here, and the cayenne or the tincture is all ready. So when you're ready to transfer it into a bottle, you basically open it up. And turkey basters are great. You just basically after you shake it up, you pull some of the alcohol out. Obviously not that much. Okay, and you put it in the bottle, and you just squeeze all of your alcohol. And look at that, just about a full bottle already. And that will fill up. So now you transfer it. So turkey basters are wonderful. They last for years and years. And that's just about a full bottle just from that one. So now you have your cayenne or whatever tincture it is, and keep it stored in a nice, cool, dark place. It lasts forever. Okay, all right. So why make your own capsules? Similar reasons for making tinctures. The cost is pennies compared to doing it yourself. For example, making a bottle of cayenne. Okay, we're talking, what, babe, between the bottle and the powder itself, maybe $1.50, something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, whereas most places will sell that for about $15 to $20. You can make the same thing, including the bottle. We'll show you how to get those, including the bottle, including the labels. You can do this whole bottle of 100 capsules for maybe $1.50, and it's a lot better for you. Okay, same for this. This right here is pennies worth of tincture. And people will sell that for about $20. That's the common price. All right, so save yourself so much money. Not only that, you know the source of what's in that capsule. You know the source of what's in the tincture. It is so easy today if you know where to go, and we'll help you with that. to get organic or well-crafted herbs, not GMO herbs, not herbs that have no known source. Stay away from them because they're usually full of pesticides and herbicides, and they're not organic. So just be careful where you go. Make sure that they're certified organic or well-crafted. Well-crafted means that they were gotten, that the vendor knows that there's this whole patch that they watch every year, and they go out and they pick it, that this is an area free from the highway, free from civilization. They monitor this patch of whatever it happens to be, and they get it. Remember, also, if you're going to get your own herbs, and we can do that workshop sometime, go on an herb walk and show you how to pick herbs. Two things important. Don't ever use an herb that's along the side of the highway. It needs to be a minimum of 50 feet off the highway, at a minimum. Go further, because the plants will absorb the toxins from the exhaust pipes and the toxins from the asphalt and trash being thrown. Don't ever get your herbs from the roadside. Be well off the road to do that. And two, whenever you wildcraft, whenever you pick an herb in the wild, never strip more than 1/3 off the plant. Never strip more than 1/3 off of it. Okay, there should be plenty around. Let the plant continue to grow each year. It's good for the plant, good for the environment, good for you, because it'll be there every year. All right, no more than 1/3. And we can do that another time, talk about those. Okay, so when you make your own capsules now, just like in tinctures, no additives. There's nothing else there. In the tincture, there's the formula and alcohol. In the capsule, we'll show this more here in a minute. It's the glycerin capsules, which means they're vegan capsules, super easy to get, inexpensive. It's just, for example, when you walk through our dispensary in our clinic, and you can actually look at the medications and it shows what's on the medications, what's in them. It's the herb and the capsules. Whereas most stores you go to, GNCs and health food stores, it's the herb, and it's rice flour, it's filling, it's the fillers, it's all that stuff. What it means is you end up with very little of the herb. There was a study done not too long ago on Walmart's, Target's, GNCs, and so forth, and they went to find out how much of the herb is actually in the bottle. All right, and one of the examples was St. John's wort. St. John's wort is an amazing herb. It's even been approved by the FDA for depression and anxiety. It does work because of the way it affects serotonin in your brain, which then, of course, affects melatonin. All right. And I've had so many patients come into the clinic and go, "Oh, I tried St. John's wort, it didn't work." And I go, "No, you didn't." "Oh, yeah, I bought it." And I said, "No, you didn't try St. John's wort. You got a bottle that says St. John's wort on it." Because the study went out and they randomly picked from all these different stores. There are different vendors of St. John's wort, and they analyzed it. Most of the bottles had 0 to no St. John's wort in it. So you're thinking you're taking something, but you're not. How much better to make your own medications? And so with like capsules again, all that's in there is what you wanted. You know where it came from. You know how old it is. Okay, one of the common things about people go out and they go, "I want my vitamin C, so I'm going to go buy capsules that have rose hips in them." Rose hips do have a lot of vitamin C. Every one of the capsules that were tested, the rose hips, they were so old that all the vitamin C had already disappeared. All right, because if it's on the shelf for a few months, it's all gone. Even though the rose hips might have been in there, the vitamin C is degraded. Make your own medications. You save a lot of money and you have a lot healthier. All right, so let's make a capsule. Let's see how easy this is to do. Okay, there are other products, but we love this one. It's a great one. So this is how basically it comes to you. Take this little thing out here. Okay, and I think we got it all. Okay, this is not complicated. It won't be hard. This is easy once you get used to it. Okay, and where's this little card they put in there for? Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is all there is to it. So what you want to do is today, what do we got here today?
It's cayenne powder.
Oh, still more cayenne? Oh, goody. I get more sinus cleansing. Okay, we're going to make, whereas we made cayenne tincture, we're going to make cayenne capsules. Okay, so remember what I told you, there's a difference. Tincture works fast. Capsules are a deeper, longer healing. So for acute situations, meaning something that's going on right now, okay, A tincture is very fast-acting help. Cayenne powder. Okay, again, this could have been a formula, but this is just a single herb for today, just to show you. Cayenne powder is wonderful because it gets into your system. It actually helps heal varicose veins. It can help heal heart disease because it feeds the muscles, feeds the muscles of the arteries. The muscles of the arteries are made of what's called a smooth muscle group. There's several smooth muscle types in your body. Cayenne is very specific to it. It feeds and heals it. And so we've seen patients, like I mentioned earlier, with high blood pressure and change of diet. We've seen their high blood pressure disappear. It takes time. So we recommend taking the capsules during, every day, 6 days a week. We always say take one day off as a day of rest for the body. And we've seen it work. Okay, so how do you make a capsule? Very, very simple. Well, okay, my wife has wonderfully already preloaded some of this. The way this is made, this one here is 24 capsules to it. So obviously we'd have to do this a little over 4 times to do the standard 100 capsules in a bottle. Okay, but super easy. My wife's already pre-filled most of it. The little thing you can press here and you press it up. And you probably can't see this, but the capsule's already preloaded in there except for one line, so we can show you. So what you do is you take your capsules and they, as an example, they come, you can buy, well, what's this one here? This is 1,000 capsules. You can buy them up to what, 5,000 or more?
Yeah, they go from 100 to 5,000.
Okay, yeah, you can buy little 100 capsule bags. This is 1,000 capsule, all the way up to 5,000 capsules, depending on your needs.
Which we buy the 5,000.
Yeah, obviously at the clinic we buy about 40,000 a month,
Yeah.
is what we do. Okay, and they come in little, they're all together. And so what you do, there's 2 sides to the 2 halves. You just pull them apart. You got a big half and a very tiny half. Okay, very, very tiny. Okay, the bottom of the capsulator is for the long part. Okay, and so like I said, my wife left part of this open for me. So you fill in, okay, and the same on here. So the top, or the little half, you put it in there, stuff it in there. Okay, she pre-filled it just so that we wouldn't have to go through all this too much. Okay, and you just keep filling them in. Okay, so I'm just doing 4 of them since the others are done.
Sean has a question.
What does Sean want?
He said he has a friend that has trouble swallowing capsules. Do you have a suggestion?
Yes, I do.
For an alternate approach, can chewable?
Okay. Okay, great question, Sean. Okay. We have a lot of patients like that too. They just have either it's a gag reflex or they truly have a problem. Like we had a patient one time with esophageal cancer. Capsules don't work well for them. So there's a couple of options you can do. You can do the capsules and you can take them and literally just take the capsule, already filled, and just open it and empty it into something. When the most common thing is to empty it into liquid. Okay, and then they drink the liquid. It's exactly the same. It works great. For example, our wolves here, they obviously are not big into capsules and they get injuries and things and such. And so we want to give them their medications. Peggy will open them and put it in their food. Okay, just put the powder itself in their food. They're very used to herbs and so they do it. They've done it quite a bit. So that's one method, Sean. You can take them and empty and put it in liquid and it works great. Another method is if they just really have a hard time, you can do a tincture. All right, you can do a tincture, which is a concentrated form. Great, you can do that. You can make them into syrups. And so what I'd like to do in a future episode of this, teaching how to do medications, if you guys would like, I'll teach you how to do a syrup, how to do salves, things of that nature, how to make an oil. Okay, so there's multiple ways. Capsule is just one, but you can do it in these other forms too. I hope that helps your friend. Okay, all right. So now we have the top, which means the little half of the capsule loaded. We've got the bottom completely loaded. Now it's time to make the capsule. Very, very easy. So in this case is cayenne. Sorry if I sneeze here in the future. Okay, you just take it. Now you're going to notice the way this is made. See this little opening here. So remember where that's at. And then this is a deep area here so that you can hold the herb. I always personally like to have the opening, on my right side, just because that's the way I like to think about it. And you take the herb, and you can really overdo the herb on here. It's great. It's okay to do that. You won't be wasting any. And you start pouring it into there, okay? And you want to do a lot. And while you're doing it, kind of shake it down, because you're knocking it down. You're knocking it down into, you see some of the holes there. You're knocking it down into it. So keep knocking it down, do that. We like to put a lot in it. Again, kind of hard to overdo it, but I guess you could. All right. Then we have, it came with a cheapy little card that you can use, but you can use whatever. You basically wanting to go ahead and mix that around, make sure that it's over all the holes. Okay. And, we like to press it down a little bit. Then you get this right here, this half of it. As you can see, it's got the little plugs. It's a little tool, and that is going to fit in each one of the holes. And it'll take a little practice to get used to getting it in the holes, because you can't see it so easily. But once you do, you'll feel it. And we press it down really hard. So what we're doing is we're like a muzzle loading gun. We're pressing the powder into it. You can see how we've already done that. But generally, and it is mostly full, but we kind of like sometimes to err on the side of caution, especially when you're not used to this. We like to take it and do it again. So we take the card and we spread it over again. Still have plenty of it. We spread it over the little holes. Okay. We do it again. Okay, just to be on the safe side. And muzzle load it down. All right, press hard. Now you get a really good view. You can see how it's been all shoved down into the holes. It's great. Right? Again, we don't want to waste anything. So once that's done, we then, keeping in mind the little gap, we then take a card and just scrape it along the top. Okay, and then just scrape it and move it. It'll come right out that little hole. Okay. And you want to scrape it all out, except for obviously what's in the capsules. Okay. Because we want to get as much of it off of there so that the thing will close properly when the time comes. Okay, and as you can see, it's now completely loaded. Everything's ready. And we take the part that has the already preloaded with the top half, put it over it. We're almost done. That's it. Take it and squeeze it down. You can actually hear it, hear that it did it. Okay, you hear a little crunching. Okay, and that's it. You take this out, and there's all your capsules, all done, all ready to go. Pretty neat, isn't it? So it's 24 capsules, and once you get used to this, you just start banging them out like crazy. Okay, so we've got 24 capsules. At this time, we usually like to kind of press them down a little bit, make sure that they're on tight, the two halves together. Then we basically turn it, and you got this little plastic piece up top. Take it, and that's it. There's 24 capsules right there. And you do that a little over 4 times. 4 times is 98. Okay, then you just take them. And you can pour those into your capsule bottle. Okay. These bottles, there are many, many sources for them on the web. My wife has found a great source to get them very, very inexpensive. It's one of the points at our clinic is we want to make sure that things are as inexpensive as possible. All right, so she has a great source for these. She has them very inexpensively on the clinic so that you can, if you decide to go through the clinic, or you can, Tree of Life, or you can go online and find them elsewhere. But she has the sources for the bottles. These are 100 capsules. And she also has sources for you to be able to do your own labels, because you want, depending on how pretty you want things to be, maybe you're going to do this for a living, or maybe it's just for home, but it's nice to know that you can do your own labels and such. So clinic or online, whatever you want to do. Okay, so there you go. Now we're ready to do the next set. Like I said, do that a little over 4 times, and you've got 100 capsules, and it's all done. And that's how easy it is to make capsules. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to go over that. Yeah, so like I said, by making your own medications, the source for the herbs, the potency, the age, there's no additives, and the amount of money that you save doing this is amazing. And it's even better when you grow your own. And when we do an herb walk sometime, we'll take you through our garden throughout the land up here and show you what we have. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm open if anybody, because we're We're just a little past, but I got in late also. Are there any questions that any of you have that you'd like to ask me now? It can be on this or whatever, but any questions you've had on what we did or anything that you'd like to talk about while you got me for a few more minutes. Okay, so I'll give you a chance for that. Trying to think, is there anything else? So like I said, in the future, if you have any ideas, please post it in the comments below about what you would like, what other workshops you'd like to see. It doesn't have to be just on herbs. I'm looking at doing them on, remember, this is all Elven love of different things. This is Elven love of healing. I can also show you how to do things like to play the flute, Elven music on the flute, the ocarina, the psaltery. We can do herb walks. We can do meditation types. It's up to you what you would like to see these workshops to be about. So my next workshop, like I said, on natural medicines, we'll talk about syrups, we'll talk about salves and things of that nature. All right. So anything else? Any questions?
There is a question.
Okay, what is it?
What is your guys' take as medical professionals? How do you feel about the effects of a CBD tincture? Do you believe in the effects of this?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hopefully this won't offend anybody, but we definitely, absolutely believe in CBD. You know, we've had some patients come in that are very, very religious and they go, well, CBD because it comes from cannabis, marijuana, because it's a drug. It's not a drug. God made it. Eru made it. It is completely safe. It's like anything, can people abuse it? But the point of CBD is it is non-hallucinogenic, non-narcotic. There are about 300 different medical constituents inside of cannabis, inside of marijuana. The two that most people know about, when they do know anything about it, is THC and CBD. THC, yes, I like to call it the Woodstock vitamin. It's the one that makes you very happy, okay, or depending on your personality. It has great medical value as well. But we're just talking about CBD right now. CBD has no hallucinogenic effects. We have used it extremely safely in cases of anxiety, depression, cancer. We use it for so many different things. Pain relief. Oh my gosh, it's stunning for pain relief. My problem with most CBD, though, unfortunately, and this is not against CBD, because CBD is completely natural. We were designed for CBD. We have throughout our bodies something called cannabinoid receptors, CBD receptors. They're little docking ports on your cells that link up and take it. We were meant to use it. The problem is that you have to be very, as we've noticed at the clinic, you have to be extremely careful about CBD, not because of CBD, but because of the vendors, the manufacturers. There are some out there that put so much garbage in it, and the potency can vary widely from one vendor to the next. We will only work with a vendor for the clinic that sends us a sample first so that we can try it, look at it, check it out, make sure it's okay. Because some of them will have patients go, I used CBD and it didn't work. Well, that's probably true because what you had was a garbage product. Plus, we've also noticed a lot of them will put other things into CBD formulas, making it look like the CBD was powerful. And one of the most common ones, and I don't agree with it, is magnesium. They put magnesium. A lot of them will put it in there. Why? It is true. Magnesium is a muscle relaxant. So was it the CBD or the magnesium? If your CBD is powerful, you don't need magnesium and stuff like that. But it makes the customer, in that case, or patient, in our case, it makes them think, wow, that CBD was wonderful because it worked. No, it was the magnesium. And the problem is that magnesium over time, if not careful, can actually become addictive. I know that sounds weird. Magnesium is a muscle relaxant. And one of those many things it does is helps you poop. All right. You take too much magnesium for too long a period of time, you won't be able to go poop without it. All right. Plus, most magnesium is not highly assimilable by humans. The most magnesium out on the market right now is magnesium citrate and all that other garbage, stearate. The only magnesium that has been found through clinical trials to be readily absorbable by humans is magnesium gluconate. All right. We keep it in the clinic, but we don't dispense it very often. Only when we have very serious issues that need relief quickly. So CBD is wonderful. Just make sure it's CBD. and that it doesn't have a lot of other crap in it, and that it was from a reputable vendor, and they should be able to send you a sample to try and see if it's worthwhile or not. So I hope that helps.
We have one more question.
Okay, what else we got?
She lives with 20 cats, and she is starting to help them by healing them with colloidal silver.
Okay.
She's wondering for more. She's wondering for more treasures from the nature.
Okay, all right. So you touched on a point with me, so I hope you don't mind me telling you this. I am not, by any stretch of imagination, I'm going to give you a classic example. I am not a fan of oral use of colloidal silver. It is actually very, very harmful in the long run. I don't care what you might have, and I appreciate you, and I hope this doesn't offend you, but there are many articles out there on the web that just expound on the virtues of colloidal silver. Okay, it is not safe to take internally. Over time, if you're not careful, it actually can replace and cause problems with your bones, your skin, replacing calcium and such. It's very, very dangerous over the long haul. Okay, colloidal silver is a metal. It is a metal. It does not care about what it does once it's inside of you. It is, some will say, well, it's a noble metal, okay, by chemistry. It's still a heavy metal. Heavy metal means any metal or mineral such as that you intake that stays and builds up over time. And just like mercury and all these others, it is a heavy metal, and it will store over time. What it does is, okay, I have an example of it right here. Here's silver. This is my silver tree of life that I wear, obviously, all the time. Okay, Elven, we believe in the trees. All right, I wear it because of my Elven nature, but I also wear it for a medical reason. And I have actually done this in the past. We live out here in the mountains. Well, years before we even moved here, I would go doing hiking and camping, and sometimes you would come across a stream of water or a pond, and the water is suspect. Do I drink that or not? All right. You could literally take that water and scoop it out and put it in like a bowl or something, and take something that is pure silver and then just run it through it. You might have to do it, swish it around, do that for about 5-10 minutes. It's not going to kill everything, but it will kill a lot of what's in that water. The bacteria and some of the parasites. Just by swishing it around, it actually works. You may have seen online where you can buy these water containers that have silver straws, and so that as you suck it up, it kills. Now, it doesn't kill everything because it's only going to kill what comes in contact with the straw, but it does help. All right, in this case, we swish it around. So what does that mean? It means that silver kills bacteria, okay? And it's very efficient at killing bacteria. That's why so many people take it. Well, I'm going to cure what's going on inside. There's a problem. You can have two things. One can be silver, one can be garlic. They both are massive at killing bacteria. Silver is a metal, garlic's an organic. Okay. Garlic is an amazing anti-infective. It is a medical fact. 3 to 5 cloves of garlic has the same efficacy as an adult dose of penicillin, but it doesn't wipe out the microflora of your intestinal tract, only what you're basically targeting. Sinus infection, pneumonia, pulmonary, whatever the case may be, ear infections. Silver doesn't think that way, so to speak. It doesn't care. When you take silver orally, it wipes it all out, which then gets us into a yeast infection, candida overgrowth, which is the root cause of so many illnesses. We have some books out on that, but it's the root cause of so many illnesses, and most Americans end up with candida. So silver internally is not a good thing. Now, I generally don't use colloidal silver for anything, but if you are going to use it, you got some, you can use it topically. You get a scratch, you can put it on it. I'd much rather you make the herbidine. Okay, it's much safer for you. But that's the most I would ever do with colloidal silver. So your question was, what to use instead? Okay, instead of for an anti-infective. All right. I'm not sure why you're giving it to your cats. We also treat dogs, cats, and horses, so I can answer that question. So while I'm talking here, if you can tell me why you're using it on your cats. Okay, is it just a preventative, or do the cats actually have a problem? We treat a lot of cats with hyperthyroidism, feline renal disease, things of that nature, so I don't know why you're using it. So I'm not sure totally how to answer that question, but if you're using it for infection kind of reasons.
Parasites everywhere.
Oh, parasites. Wonderful. Great. Thank you. Okay. Parasites. Much better herbs for parasites, for those things. You're going to hear how don't give garlic to your cats and dogs. That is garlic.
Eyes and ears.
For their eyes and ears. Okay, I can see it sometimes being used for their eyes because it will work, but I still don't like it because the eyes readily absorb anything that's put on it. Things that are better, okay, that work outstanding that you can do at home. Red raspberry leaf tea. Red raspberry leaf tea actually works astounding for the eyes. You should be, it's a good thing to drink yourself, and you can also take some, and just like colloidal silver, you can squirt it in their eyes. Raw honey. Raw honey is massively good at this. You mix it up into a little bit of water and you drip it in their eyes. Okay, and they'll probably lick whatever drips down from there. Raw honey works really well. An herb called eyebright. Eyebright, you can make a tea out of it. Make sure you get all the grains out when you filter it so that you don't get any grains in their eyes. But eyebright works really well. So red raspberry leaf tea, eyebright, raw honey, those all work really well for the eyes, and for the rest of the body, they all work very well as well. But the herbidine, as far as topical throughout the rest of the body, parasites, garlic. Again, don't let people tell you that you can't use garlic on dogs and cats, because you can. We've been using on dogs and cats for years and years and years. It is incredible for clearing out parasites and things of that nature. Okay, so those are all examples of things that you can do. Anything else?
Tell them they want to know how to get to the store.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay, I think I'm going to do this right. I've never done a stream on my own before, so I'm going to be hitting end stream soon. This should go to YouTube, and then in the description here in just a little bit, we'll give a link. But in case I mess that up, because I'm still getting used to this, you can go to Tree of Life. Okay, so www.treeoflifehwc.com. So treeoflifehwc.com. treeoflifehwc.com. And over on the left-hand column for the menus, you'll see online store. Okay, so you can just click on that and it'll take you to the online store, and then you can take a look around. Right now, because we didn't put it on the storefront, and so we only sent it out in our clinic newsletter. We are actually, again, this was not meant to be a sales thing. You don't have to do this, but we're seeing too many people missing out on the opportunity. Later today, I'll put it on the front, on the store's front page. We have a sale going on, and it's 15% off everything. Unfortunately, people who don't get the newsletter don't know it, and so people are coming from all over the world going to the online store, but they're not getting to take advantage of the sale. One of the most important things Peggy and I do in the medical practice, as I said, I'm a naturopathic doctor. Unfortunately, most naturopathic doctors are about $250 an hour. It's ridiculous what they charge, and so most patients that have come to us can't afford it. Peggy and I charge really, really low because we believe everyone should have access to healing, especially as elves, we know that. And so we charge really low. So we do this online stuff and we do the clinic because Peggy and I actually don't have to do this anymore, but we do it because we're trying to give access to inexpensive medications, still powerful, healthy medications, but medications shouldn't wipe you out, shouldn't cost you so much. So yeah, we could sit back and go, oh, great, all these people don't know about the sales, so we're making 15% more. We don't want that. So you can go, I'll put it on the front page here in a little bit, but until I do, you can still do this. There's a coupon code you can use that will save you some money, all right? And it's a summer, what's the coupon code?
The summer sale?
Yeah.
I think it's summer sale code or something.
Okay, tell you what, I'll put it in the description here in just a few minutes. And I think it's the summer sale code. Literally, I think that's what it is, summer sale code.
I was telling them to sign up for the newsletter, so.
For the Tree of Life?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to put out the newsletter for the Elven one, and you can sign up for that. But I also do one that is natural medicines, and it's for the clinic. And it's full of wonderful medical information. In the description here in just a little bit, I will go ahead and put down the coupon code so that when you go to the sale, go to the store if you decide to. You can go ahead and it'll ask you when you're getting ready to purchase to type in the coupon code. You'll save yourself 15%, even though it's not listed on the store, it's actually there. And it's good until the end of this month to help you save some money. All right, so I will do that. If for some reason I screw things up with this video, I will make sure that we will post on my Facebook page, Elven Scholar, and here in just a little bit, if I don't get this right, I'll post a thing that says, here's the link to the store for all those that watch the video, the live. Here's the link to the store. Here's the coupon code. Save yourself some money if you decide to go to it. It's fine either way. Okay? Anything else?
Nope, no
Oh,
more.
okay. Alrighty. Well, I love teaching. I love being able to help others learn how to take care of themselves. So send me ideas, things that you'd like to do, things you'd like to see. We'll go ahead and do those in the future. We're going to try to do this on a regular basis from here on, now that I know how to do this correctly on YouTube. All right. And like I said, those that aren't on the Elven newsletter, it's coming out in the next day or two. You're welcome to sign up. You can go to the Gentle Musing, the Elven Scholar, one of our pages on Facebook, and you can sign right up. Or send me your email, and I will go ahead and put you in there. All right, because it's coming out in a day or two. All right. It was a joy speaking with all of you. I care about all of you, and I love that you all are interested in being proactive about your health and your both spiritual and mental. All right. All of you have a most blessed rest of the day. Namaste.